You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the season is over. We had our fun. They got back to 500. It's over! I'm kidding. But a rough night for the Astros in New York against the Mets as they dropped the first of three this weekend against a team that you should beat, you'd think, going into the series. They played great baseball in the month of June. Have the New York Mets. But tonight, the Astros just did not have their A game in a lot of facets of it. And you and I are going to talk about it for about the next 30 minutes, breaking it all down, looking forward to tomorrow. And, I think the theme of the night, like it is for the Astros when they don't do something well, runners in scoring position, men left on base, a lot of problems for the Astros when it came to those two things in this baseball game. Tonight's episode is brought to you, of course, here on the Locked On Astros Postcast by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. So let's start with Ronel Blanco tonight. We'll get to the bats here in just a few minutes. Blanco did not have his best stuff from the jump. I did wonder as this baseball game came to or got going. And yes, by the way, I failed to mention it. Or maybe I did mention it. 7-game winning streak is over. 40-41 now in the season. Currently, as we sit doing this show, which again you can listen to here on the live YouTube version, which if you're new tonight, please hit the subscribe button. We're still growing, baby. We're going. We're over 1,000. We're over 1,100 now. You guys have been awesome. So just keep on plugging along. I mean, look, 2,000's in sight. We only got 900 something to go, or 800 something to go. Can we get there by the end of this weekend? Come on, guys. Hit the subscribe button. 2,000 by the end of the weekend. Only 800 something to go. Also find this on podcasts. Anywhere that you get your podcast, search Locked On Astros, you'll find it. But as we sit here at this moment, the Astros are, it's still scoreless between the Mariners and the Twins. So the Astros could sit at 4. They're 5 games out right now. They could sit at 4.5 still if they're able to lose. Good news, Texas doesn't gain any ground on the Astros for second in the West. They lost tonight as well, so they stay 4 games back of the Astros. Ronel Blanco tonight, though, I wondered how much of his instant struggles in the game were sitting related. That top half of the first took forever. Jose Quintana could not get anybody to not swing and miss. Even if the Astros are fouling it off constantly, he was just, and the Astros have had success against him in the past, but he was just right there, ready for the taking. And that's part of the story of the night, the frustration. I mean, they loaded the bases in that inning. Again, we'll get to that in a few minutes when it comes to what Ronel Blanco or what the Astros offense did not do tonight. But Ronel Blanco you could see it. He did not have his sharpest of command. Now, credit to him for the majority of that game. On a night where he did not have it, he really actually did start to settle and work through it and got pitch efficient and got deeper into the baseball game. Now, you could question, should Joe Espada have pulled him before he went and gave up a 3-run home run? Okay, sure. Or was Joe still there at that point? I don't even know. Blanco, by the way, goes to 8-3 on the season, 2.49 now. His ERA, allowed 3 home runs in the game. And that's the dangerous thing about the Mets. They might not be a great baseball team. They're not horrible. But look, they're over 500 now. They're 40-39 with the win. But they've got some power in it. Alonso can hit the ball over the fence, of course. We saw that. Lindor at the top. Nimmo's been a really good player, really solid player for them. We all know JD Martinez is capable of going deep. So they've got some guys that can put bat to ball, and then, you get hit by the slappy down at the bottom of the order, Jeff McNeil, there for that 3-run shot. Sometimes those happen. That guy chokes up on his bat. Like, this isn't a bat, but, here's the bottom of the bat, and he's all the way up here. holding it. He looks goofy when he does that, but hey, whatever works for you. It's not working for him this year. He's not hitting very well, but it worked tonight. But I just thought it was one of those nights that Blanco did not have his best time. I really thought rhythm, to me, might have played a lot into struggles in the baseball game for him tonight because, when you're, and I need to pull up his exact numbers, when you're the pitcher at home, you get to go out there first. And I think that matters for some guys, and you work up. Now, look, this is the Ronel Blanco special, working up that lather out there on the mound. That man can sweat through a uniform. But he, I think there's something to warming up, getting yourself going, and then going right into the game. And then tonight you warm up, you go sit. He's actually been better on the road this season, his numbers wise. I don't think this is updated with tonight, but coming into this one tonight on the road, he was 5-1 with a 236 in 7 starts, and he was 3-2. Actually, that is updated. He's 3-2 at home with a 261 on the season. I mean, he's great at both spots. I wondered what kind of rhythm that threw off for him. The Mets were clearly on to something with Ronel Blanco. If you were watching the baseball game, if you have Apple TV, which I guess put in the comments, do you have Apple TV? I don't know how. I don't know how many of you do. I have Apple TV because we watch a lot of shows on there and stuff. But I'm guessing that there's some people out there that don't have it. I did not listen to the national broadcast. They have that option to listen to the local broadcast on there. Of course, I'm going to listen to Robert Ford and Steve Sparks. They're my favorite. Honestly, I listen to them every game. I still do to this day. I think they're just the best at it, so I enjoy them. But, I just thought that tonight, again, Blanco didn't get into a rhythm. His changeup, but that was something that Apple TV, the broadcast picked up on early in the game is, you see all the covering your mouth and talking to each other, all the Mets players doing it. Maybe he was tipping something early. Who knows? He figured it out again clearly because he ended up getting into that 6th inning and pitching pretty well throughout most of the baseball game. It was just things exploded real quick there in that 6th. And, the home run kind of set the tone for it to start the inning and another one there to end it. Just not the best of nights for the Astros in New York. The theme of the night, though, and one of the themes of the season when this team does not play good baseball is runners in scoring position. Left on base. It is a problem, and it was a big, big time problem tonight for the Astros. We will discuss it as we continue here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. But right now, I want to tell you about getting your game up, getting your swag up, getting your dress up. You look good, you feel good, you play good. And you're going to do that with StitchFix.com. It's an instant confidence boost when you get an outfit that makes you look really good, doesn't it? That's what you get with Stitch Fix. You can easily upgrade that wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new, on-trend favorites that will work for you. Yeah, stop going to the store, buying regular stuff. Get somebody that knows what you should look like. They're going to get a stylist that's going to send you the right pieces, and the fit is always on point. It's perfect every single time. They're just going to get you. That's what you're going to say when you work with Stitch Fix. Again, it's style that makes you feel as you look. Now's the best time to get started at StitchFix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's StitchFix.com/MLB for $100 off. StitchFix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Offer does not include kids' fixes. Locked On Astros Postcast on a Friday night. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Michael Connor. You guys are you, and we're talking about an Astros team that unfortunately lost tonight. They'll bounce right back into it tomorrow, 3:10 first pitch, so we should be live. If it's anything like tonight was a slow one. 6 o'clock, 6:30-ish in that range. Hopefully it's 5:45 so I can get to drinking my wine for the evening. Yeah, I sound old when I say that. That's okay, though. Appreciate you guys joining us again. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Greatly appreciate that. We've been on a roll, and it's all because of you guys, like the Astros have been. But 7-game winning streak does come to an end tonight. Unfortunately, they dropped to a game below 500 with the loss. You got back up there. You were so looking like it, could be that night that you get back over 500 for the first time this season. Just wasn't in the cards. So they need to take 2 of the next 3, and this is a road trip. It's lengthy. You're going to face the Mets this weekend. Then it's 4 in Toronto, and then it's 3 in Minneapolis against the Twins before heading back home for 6 to end the – it's not the first half of the season because the first half of the season officially hits today, actually. 81 games. Today was the halfway point. So at the halfway point, they lost one more game than they won, which is not what you want, right? All right, go ahead and win 12 more games, 15 more games than you lose in the second portion of this schedule. Let me be greedy. Win 20 more games than you did in the first portion of this schedule and get yourself a win. But let's talk about the bats now. When they go bad at the plate, we all know the theme. And on a night where Jose Altuve goes out and bang, first pitch of the baseball game, smacks it over the fence, it's like, okay, here you freaking go. This is exactly the kind of start to the night that you're expecting. This is going to go exactly how you're expecting all night long. They're about to crush. Again, against Quintana, it's a guy that they've faced quite a bit in the past. They have had some serious success against him earlier in his career when they have faced him. Overall, I didn't pull up his exact numbers, but I can remember some games where they faced him before, and it was just absolutely a just crush show for the Astros. And tonight they had his number. You could see it. They were on everything. They were really disciplined at the plate. They put the ball in play. And look, they did it against the bullpen as well. I mean, the Astros tonight scoring 2 runs. They pounded out more hits than the Mets. They had 12 hits in the game. They had 2, 3, 4 doubles. They had the home run, of course. So, I mean, look, it's not like it was a lot of singles, but, 5 of their 12 hits went for extra bases. But it's this number. Runners in scoring position, 2 for 14. They left 14 men on base. Just cannot happen. Now, look, the Mets weren't any good either. They were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and they left 8 men on base. So it's not like the other side did a whole heck of a lot to be great at that. Their big swings were home runs, 3 home runs, and that's why they won the baseball game tonight. The Astros hit one of those, and their home runs had nobody on base for that one home run. It's a huge tell in the baseball game of what happened tonight between these two teams. But when they get into these spots where they need a clutch hit, they just sometimes seize up. Now, a lot of this comes down to construction of lineups right now. Jake Myers is hitting 5th. Jake Myers is a 7, 8, or 9 hole hitter. We all know that. Simple as that. They're missing Kyle Tucker in a big way. And I'm glad that they got him into the baseball game later. I think you need to see Singleton get some playing time. I know you're facing a lefty tonight, but I liked his at bat where he got his hit tonight. He came in and really looked focused and swung the bat well, swung a good pitches and smacked one. I know that he didn't do anything in his next at bat. But the Astros have to find a way to not have these lulls with men on base. It's just that simple. We've watched the storyline all season long. It's been there. They've not been very good at it. And that's kind of the sign of it. They hit the ball enough. They are always going to have traffic, which is always going to make them, have a number that you probably don't love with runners in scoring position or whatever it might be. It just is what it is. You'd rather have the opportunities than not have the opportunities, correct? And this is a team that does give themselves the opportunities. Entering play tonight as a team this season, They still led the league in batting average. They were, fourth in home runs, fourth in OPS, third in on base. So, like, they still get on base at first in hits. It's just crazy. It's what's crazy about it is you look at all those raw numbers and how they're first at everything. And they're starting to feel that way. I shouldn't discredit them because they've played a lot better lately. They've never felt super dangerous, though, offensively. And to have all those numbers is pretty exceptional. I'd give them that. And a lot of that comes from Altuve having a great year, even though he had a tough second month of the season. Bregman has come on really quickly in the last month. He's been in a slump, though, with the last I think 2 games, 3. I think he's like 0 for his last 11 or 12 now. So he needs to get that back going again. He needs to slug a little bit more, but that's okay. They've done that with Chas McCormick doing nothing for them this season. Jordan, of course, is turned back into Jordan. God, he was awesome tonight. He's just so good. And they've done this without Kyle Tucker. Golly, can they get Kyle Tucker back, please? That's just going to lengthen the lineup a lot. That's going to make it's going to make things a lot better. No, they don't need to send Loperfido back just yet. David, you're in the comments every night during the show, and we appreciate you watching. I truly do. But, man, you are just a hot take machine sometimes. I will give you that one. You got an instant reaction. You would be great with Stephen A on First Take. They look like they could send him back down, but he hadn't gotten enough run to really know. I mean, tonight was a tough night. Put him in there facing a lefty. Didn't do anything the first couple of times up. Then, of course, grounds into a double play. Just tough night. You're going to have tough nights. Simple as that. We'll see what happens. I think he needs to get some more run, get a little bit more playing time, see how it looks. And then if they get to that point where, they're in a roster crunch, sure, you can move him back down. So, just one of those nights where offensively you did not do the little things that you need to do. And that's what they've done in this streak of winning. And in this month of June, where they figured it out. And I'm still impressed by it. Early on in this month, it never felt like it was going to get to the point that it did. They entered this one tonight 15-7 in the month of June, so they go to 15-8. And the Mets had the best record in the month of June of any team in baseball. It's been the kind of month that they need, but now the emphasis has to be on finishing it strong. You would like to get to 17 wins in this month. A 17-win month in June, I couldn't have asked for more than that. And then, you go and back it up with a 15-win month in July, and you're talking about things rolling in the right direction. I don't think there's any reason to hit the panic button. Simple as that. There's just no way. But do this for a couple more days, then sure. You'd be a little bit agitated, think things are bad, whatever it might be. Tonight, just not one of their nights. I think it's that simple. They just did not execute. And, on the other side, pitching in those moments, in the spots where they have guys on base, loaded. I mean, how many times did they load the base tonight? 2 or 3 times? You can't have it. You can't have that opportunity happen that many times and not execute on it. Simple as that. Let's talk about tomorrow's baseball game. The importance of it. Yeah, you need to find a way to win. A big-time need to win tomorrow. We'll talk about it next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Here on the Locked On Astros Postcast, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing. Just call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in this episode description below. Locked On Astros Postcast continues here on a Friday night. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. Thank you for stopping by the channel. If you're new to it, please hit the subscribe button as we're wrapping up this stinky loss to the Mets. They'll do it again tomorrow, 3:10 the first pitch, so we'll be live in the 6 o'clock range for the post-game reaction, the post-cast reaction. The Astros will hand Framber Valdez the ball, 6-5 with a 3.68 ERA. Tyler McGill will go for the Mets. He's 2-4 with a 4.81. So look, the on-paper game screams Astros. The on-paper game tonight screamed Astros. Cy Young candidate in the American League. Definitely going to be an all-star in the American League. Ronel Blanco, who you hope finishes strong. He should have, two more starts before the break? 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll pitch again. It should be Wednesday against the Blue Jays. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably pitch Tuesday against the Marlins. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could pitch 3 more times. He could pitch the 14th as well, the last game before the All-Star break. So he has a chance to, get himself to 10 wins in all likelihood before the All-Star break and go there. But tomorrow's baseball game, Framber on the hill. Look, we all know it starts with him, that man. If he comes out and is getting his typical Framber outs, pounding sinkers in, getting ground balls left and right, occasionally letting a guy on, getting easy double plays, whatever it is, if he does Framber, it'll be a good day. If he does bad Framber, not a good day. Simple as that. And the Astros kind of go, when Framber is going based off of how his stuff looks. And his stuff has looked, look, I've said this before. This fan base at times is far too critical when it comes to Framber and the way that he pitches. The majority of his season this year has been really good. It's just a few blow-up starts, which happens to every starter out there in this sport, correct? Yeah, it does. And, sorry, I just got distracted. My dog is over here passed out in his chair, and he's starting to snore. We've hit that portion of the night. He is ready to go to bed. But they have to have him do that. And the team really needs to win tomorrow. I always do the joking is tomorrow must win, tongue-in-cheek halftime. At times I do mean it. Like there are periods of the season and there's games inside of the season where you look at what it means and you have to go out there and get a win. Tomorrow, probably not one of those days. But I kind of think it's close because of the fact that, you climbed a big hill to get back to 500. And you don't want to slip to 2 games back under and then have to fight your way back to 500 again. Go winning 2 in a row, which this team's very capable of winning 2 in a row. But they should win 2 in a row the next 2 days to get back above, or to get to above. I shouldn't say back to above, to 500 for the first time. That would be awesome. They're going to see Severino, by the way, on Sunday, a guy that they've at times in the past when he's been a Yankee hit, and at times they've not hit. We'll see which version they get when it comes to how they handle him out there on Sunday. But they got Saturday in front of them, and tomorrow's a game that on paper it means too much. So, and the same thing keeps going. It's you got to stack series wins on series wins, and they've put themselves, up against it by not getting the first one. You got to go win the next 2. And I just think for the psyche of this baseball team to not fall back below 500 and let bad feelings sink back in or something, they need it, which as we're starting to wind down, by the way, update in the AL West, still at this moment as we are doing this show live, which if you're listening to this on podcast later, sorry, still scoreless between the Mariners and the Twins in the top of the seventh, the top of the fifth, only 3 hits total in that game between the two teams. So keep an eye on that. I'll probably go throw that on my TV as I go, slowly doze off for the night. But appreciate you guys stopping on by tonight. Of course, hit the subscribe button. We will do this again tomorrow night when the Astros take on the Mets in Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. Yes, a must-win for the Astros tomorrow night. Oh, and Chris, I don't know what jersey Fromber's going to go with. They went with home white last time, didn't they? I'm going to go ahead and say he's probably not going to go with the blue. I bet he goes orange. I bet Fromber goes orange tops tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. That's what my guess is going to be. Who knows? Probably orange tops with the blue hat and the orange brim, which they never bring out anymore. And I wish they would. You know what I really wish they'd do? You remember when they had the orange hat? When they first changed these uniforms? They just quit it. Why? I love the orange hat. Bring the orange hat back. Mix it in occasionally. Doesn't mean you have to wear it all the time, but I want the orange hat back. Or even the Sunday hat that they had for a while, the orange with the blue brim, it just stopped. What are we doing? Got rid of good stuff. Bring it back, please. But bring the orange hat back first. I love the orange hat. I just did. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Forgot what day it was. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow night after Astros and Mets right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.